It's day 74.
Oh, the 29th year and beyond.
Each month we've asked our son John and his fiancee Gabby to provide a question for us that they would like for us to answer with the vlog. And the question that they posed this time was, what was something you thought you wouldn't be able to compromise on in the beginning that seems trivial now?
Well, first of all, this was hard. Really, really hard. I mean, really had to think about this one because it really wasn't a whole lot. But Fred had the habit of, when he finished with eating, if he didn't eat it all, he would put it on like a little 6-inch plate and wrap it and put it in the refrigerator. I'm not sure why this drove me nuts, but it did. I mean, every day I'm like, okay, well, just put on your plate what you would eat. Or just...
I was taught not to waste, and I think that's a wonderful lesson. So they're called leftovers.
But if you don't go back and eat it, then it's just trash.
But I do.
Not always. Not always. I mean, it literally made me crazy. Literally made me. I mean, just yeah. What about you, honey?
Well, after really reflecting, there was only one thing for me, which I would have to say was my own obsessive, compulsive neatness. Yeah. You know, if you've been watching the vlog, you know that I refer to Gail and I as the odd couple, her being the Oscar and me being the Felix.
Yeah.
But I had to acknowledge that it was my own compulsion, my own obsession with being neat. Everything had to be just right. Everything had to be dressed right, dressed and neat and tidy and in its place.
Martha Jean.
Where Gail had much more liberty when it came to this kind of stuff. You know, she would like, okay, I'll get around to it. For me, no, it has to be done in the moment, you know.
CCD.
And I thought that was going to drive me bananas. What I had to come to grips with was that was my issue. It was my challenge. And in the scheme of things, I was majoring on something that really, in all practicality, was a minor. So, you know, with those kinds of things that you begin to look at and you don't think you can compromise on, you have to begin to ask yourself, how important is it really in the scheme of things for the health and the well-being of your marriage and your relationship? Because there's a great many things that one may have preferences about, but at the end of the day, if it's not going to contribute to the success and the joy and the peace of your marriage, why place such a premium on that thing or that issue? What else did you think about?
Remember how I used to jump out the car every time we stopped?
Jump out the car?
Yeah, you know how you like to open the door for me.
Okay.
And every time we would stop the car, I would jump out the car, and he would look at me like, really? And it took me a long time to realize that, you know, I had never been with so much of a gentleman that I really didn't need to jump out the car. So I've learned how to sit and wait for him to come and open the car door, which was a challenge for me because at first I was like, women's lib, you know.
Okay.
But anyway, yes. But I really didn't think I was going to compromise on that because I was a, you know, woman's liver. But I did learn how to.
Well, you know, and again, looking at, okay, what is the issue? What is the thing that's driving you bonkers, right? Or the thing that you feel that, no, I can't agree with this or I can't support this in the scheme of things. And John and Gabby, you will discover as time goes on and as you continue to grow and mature, and you will see things for what they are, and a priority or a level of weight that you may have given something in the scheme of things will not be that important, because I believe that as we live and as we experience things, we begin to focus on what really matters and what's really important. And it's okay to change the priorities that you've placed on things. As a matter of fact, I think it's wisdom to do so. So even though I still prefer a much more neat kind of an experience, I don't, you know, I'm really intentional about making sure that I don't obsess about that. And it's not a compulsion. Because at the end of the day, I would not trade my wife for anything, much less her Oscarness.
Yeah, right. Toilet paper over, toilet paper under, you know, Make the bed, don't make the bed. I mean, really and truthfully, is it really worth your marriage to be that concerned about one particular thing? And that's the way I looked at it.
Right.
You know, so
digging in your heels,
right.
You know, and putting up a front over these kinds of things.
Yeah, his tidiness and all that kind of stuff. I just had to get past it, and he had to get past my messiness and other things. So that's all we got to say about that.
So, you know, in the beginning, yeah, it seemed like there was something not to compromise on, but here, 29 years later,
not so much.
It's trivial. And so you will find those kinds of things too. Until tomorrow, if the Lord says the same.
Bye.